Yeah, so I think that people in the tech industry, i.e., us, can be a little bit literal. I mean, I think a lot of us are neurodivergent, ADHD, autistic. I think I'm on that one. But what this means is that when we read a job posting and it says looking for React developer, we think, oh, we're competing on React. And yeah, you are kind of course, but that's obvious. Like you obviously need to be really good at React in order to qualify for this job. But that's not really what you're competing on. What you're competing on really is, are you the type of person they actually want at the company? Are you a person who can actually sit and talk about things other than coding? Are you a person that people actually want to hang out with during lunch? Are you a person who can sit in meetings and actually talk about technical things in a non-technical way to clients? So the CEO can go, "Hey, you're sitting and coding all day, but you're pretty good at talking. I've seen when I've had you in meetings. Why don't you just handle this meeting for me?" Okay, cool. That's actually where you're competing on. And those are the things that no one thinks about because they're thinking, oh, React position, React skills. I'm going to spend all my time becoming great at React. Well, you're never going to win on that because there's just too many people in the world, especially if you're in India. So you're never going to win on React skills ever because out of one position that goes out there, like 13,000 people apply for it. And the person, even the person who is the best at it, is not going to get the job because the job is going to go to some person who knows a person who has an uncle who has this person who got the thing. And then, it's always like that. So you got to be like, how do I get around that? If there's a building with like 1,000 people standing in line, how do I get through the window or the back door? You have to really understand the company first because they're like, I need to understand what you do. Do I even know what you do? Do I like what you do? Who started the company? Why do you exist? Those type of things. If you start competing on that, then you can start being like, hey, I'm this different kind of person and I'm showing it to you in this different way. You'll immediately be put in this pile of interesting people that like this person really stood out. We got to talk to them. Right. So this I think is the only way to apply for jobs nowadays because we're not living in Iceland where there's 5 people. Then it's okay. You can just go for the technical skills. But if you're living in a country with like 100 million people or a billion people, billion and a half people, there's no way you're going to be able to succeed in that way. That's why people apply for 300 jobs and hear back on 5 and get like we're sorry to inform you that you're not being, that's why it's like this. So this would be my attitude towards, you really have to, you obviously you have to know the technical skills, obviously, but that's obvious. But we are no longer living in an age where you know a little bit of HTML in the 90s and you boom, you got like 5,000, $50,000 per simple website. That time existed back then, but we're way past that now. You got to be a good coder, but you also got to be a person who can sit in meetings, talk about complicated stuff with shareholders and everything. You got to do everything. You got to be pretty good at everything. Yeah, it's really hard. It's really, really difficult time to be entering tech. But yeah, this is kind of where the game is at right now.